Jace Bosman for Bow Hunting World magazine, and anybody that's been following our videos knows that I suffered a pretty serious shoulder injury, but it wasn't nearly as bad as what we originally thought it was. But I'm still nursing it back to health, and we did a video here a few weeks ago talking about bow poundage and things like that, and I got some questions, so I thought I'd shoot another video. The arrows that I'm shooting out of this 58-pound Synergy, and I have gone up a few pounds as my shoulder gets better and better, so I'm at 58 pounds now. I'm still shooting the Gold Tip Velocity XT, and Gold Tip makes these in just the Velocity XT, and the Velocity Pro. All of them have different specs, but I went with the Velocity XT. It's a really sexy arrow. It's got the nice green branding on it, the lime green and the boning wrap and everything that I put on it. But the reason I'm using this arrow is because at 58 pounds, I wanted to get a little bit more speed. I'm coming in right about 353 grains with this arrow, and I could still drop it down and go lighter, but I want to keep my kinetic energy up as well. I'm still right at close to 60 pounds of kinetic energy, and that's going to be plenty for turkey. And that's basically what this is for. I got a hog hunt as well, a spring bear hunt, and by then I might even go up some more, but I might not as well. I mean, that's still going to be plenty of kinetic energy, but these are the Velocity XT 400s, and they're just flying awesome out of this Elite Synergy, and I'm really impressed with the arrow. The spine size, perfect for this bow, and everything's just flying exactly right. So it's the Velocity Gold Tip, or the Gold Tip Velocity XT 400 that I'm shooting out of this bow. Something else I wanted to talk about on my setup that I just got, that I'm checking out, that I'm really impressed with, is I've always been kind of a bounce back and forth between a single pin and a multi-pin sight. And while they each serve purposes, different purposes for different situations, for me personally, I really like a single pin just because of a clutter-free housing. It minimizes my target panic, and there's just a lot of things that it does for me personally that makes me want to go to this site. The problem with the single pin a lot of times is that guys get worried about, you're calling a bull elk and you've got your pin dialed in and you're set at 20 yards and that bull hangs up at 40 or 43 and you got to take a shot. You don't have time to make that dial to the yard adjustment. Spot Hog on the Hog Father here came out with a pretty unique scope housing this year. It's the Spot Hog double pin. The really cool thing about this is that I have 3 distinct aiming points. 2 of them are illuminated. The green is my 20, and then the amber is my 40, and then I go ahead and take a little dab of pink model paint and set me a 30-yard pin in there because I do not like the pin gap. And to be able to take a single pin without, there's no clutter, still got the 1 vertical post in there, and have 20, 30, 40 without having to dial anything, that's pretty cool. And then once I get to 40, I can dial 56, 64, 73, whatever I need to do. So pretty cool concept. The other thing I want to talk a little bit about is my hip quiver. And this hip quiver is made by my good buddy JC Navarro. JC Navarro Custom Leather. You can check him out on Facebook. And what sets these quivers apart and really makes them unlike anything else on the market is the tooling. JC's a master leather worker, and you can get different color inlays. You can have it designed any way you want. He can draw it out and he'll get it sewn up and put together for you. And he does all kinds of other cool stuff too. He does shaps for a lot of the riders on the Professional Bull Riders Tour. He's just an absolute master at his craft. So let's go ahead and take a shot here at 40. Going to be using the amber pin. Not going to touch my wheel dial. That one's right in there. It'll work. Let's go on up to 30. And if we're walking up here, you notice our path's a little bit worn. We try to shoot out here every day if we can. Now from 30, and I want to be clear, no, Spot Hog does not put a 3rd aiming point in there. This is mine. It's a little dab of pink paint. Works just fine. 30 yards. Top of the 10, I'll take that. We'll step up to 20. Top green pin, this is the aiming point that Spot Hog puts in. That'll work. I'm Jace Bosman for Bow Hunting World, your equipment authority.